Welcome, White Lightning agents, to the first episode of Counterintelligence. I'm Kyle C. Sullivan, and joining me today are agents Ethan Gelinas and JP Diovando. Not knowing things sucks, and so to help you not know fewer things, we will be transmitting this show to the White Lightning HQ YouTube channel every 2 weeks, each time with intel on a new topic. If you have a topic you would like to know more about, leave it here in the comments, and we may research it for a future episode. The best topics are specific enough to research, but vague enough to talk about for 20 minutes, so if it would make a good category on a really weird game of Jeopardy, it's probably perfect for counterintelligence. We are recording today from the undisclosed location, our hidden top-secret base of operations, and on a completely unrelated note, Counterintelligence is sponsored by the Studio Art Classes in Cedar Park. If you live in the Austin area and are interested in learning to draw, paint, sculpt, sew, graphic design, or play a variety of musical instruments, head to thestudiocedarpark.com for contact information. On to the episode. This week we have gathered intel about intelligence agencies. When most people think of spies, they think of gadgets, guns, and tuxedoed supermodels driving fast cars and alternately shooting or seducing people overseas. Or if you're our audience, you probably think, what, where, get a pyro, crap, my sentry's dead, so am I, if you see me, it's not me. Whatever fictional spy universe is your favorite, one thing they all tend to have in common is a clear and organized operation tightly controlled by the national government. But, through our research, we learned that the intelligence community is rather the opposite of that in real life. The United States alone has at least 17 intelligence agencies, and we looked those up on the internet, so they must be the bad ones. The two you're probably most familiar with are the Central Intelligence Agency, represented here by Matt Damon brutally beating people with furniture, and the National Security Agency, or Edward Snowden listening silently to your phone calls, which is actually a tremendous misrepresentation of real events, but still somehow works through some kind of ignorant word association. In addition to the CIA and NSA, it seems that every branch of the U.S. security sector is given their own intelligence agency as part of their welcome package. There's one for the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Energy, and the National Treasury, as well as the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and even the Coast Guard, which shortens to CGI and only employs about 280 people. If no spy movie yet exists about two bearded CGI agents wearing weather-worn tuxedos and battling it out on the high seas Waterworld style, we call dibs.
That was fun.
Is this really how we're starting?
Absolutely.
We have this totally professional monologue set up, and
Welcome
then you guys
to
start the show by
as you know,
into your cup.
A ring.
No,
Okay.
Kyle, it's not pronounced that. It's pronounced oh.
So the most interesting thing I actually found out while researching this information was that a lot of the intelligence is not currently carried out by the government anymore. It's actually private companies. Like they've hired private companies.
To intel.
It's to do intelligence, like private intelligence agencies. Since 9/11 happened, the whole intelligence network in the United States, at least, has been expanding. And so there's a lot of intelligence agencies and corporations that are privately owned, and they're like contractors. Like the government just hires them to go spy on things. So that's interesting.
Well,
What are your thoughts on that? Because it's kind of a controversial thing, apparently. I had never heard about it. I was really interested in researching all of this.
That is kind of like a private thing now?
So when you say that, are you referring to like the NSA or?
No, the NSA and the CIA are government owned.
Those are government, yeah. So what are some of the?
But even those, the contractors are actually beginning to outnumber government employees. So it's 51% contractors right now.
Are there any that are well known enough to where you could name one, or?
I didn't recognize any of them.
Okay.
Because they specialize in that. It's not like they're covers for something else. It's not quite that spy-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just kind of a lot of what the private companies do is like corporate espionage stuff. So they'll be hired out by other companies who are like, we want to know what that company's doing. Go figure that out for us. and so they'll go do that.
Just
But
like-
then the U.S. government hires them also to collect information on.
Well, I suppose if
Foreign
your
countries.
job is to collect information and the government notices that you're doing very well at that job, that's probably a reason why they're hiring these private contractors. It's like
I mean, it's like hiring a private eye on a larger scale.
it's like saying that I can build a cupboard, right?
Yeah.
Or I can build a bureau.
Yes.
Like, sure, I might be okay at it, but I can also hire this man, and his job is to build furniture, and he's probably way better than me. I mean,
Or you could go to IKEA.
yeah, I could go to IKEA, but if I want a custom-made one, is it that
Fun
funny? Like,
metaphor.
honestly, I thought this metaphor was really well constructed.
It's that the problems with it that people have been talking about, that it's the reason they do it is because they get more manpower. So like after once
Oh,
the whole war
absolutely.
on terror thing started, they decided they needed more people to help out.
Mm.
So they hired more people. And also when you hire from different companies, you get more diverse skills and like cultural backgrounds, linguistic backgrounds, like people who have more connections to foreign countries that the government employees may not. But the critics of it talk about it being like it costs more. First of all, apparently it costs twice as much to hire a
would imagine.
contractor.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem to be too big of a deal because last I checked, like 40% of the U.S. entire government budget is spent on defense stuff. And then also the main thing is that the laws and regulations on it are very vague.
Mm.
So
So there's
if
a gray
one of
area.
them, for example, goes overseas and causes some kind of trouble, which apparently happens on occasion, it's unclear whose responsibility that person is at that point.
Right.
Ah.
But yes, I mean, supposedly the point is, what I'm trying to say, I think, is that we could start our own intelligence agency.
I think we already have.
White Lightning HQ could actually be a legit intel agency if we wanted to.
What do you
But-
mean?
It would be a
Yeah.
useless one. No one would hire us, but we could. You could.
I mean,
You can
there's
do that.
probably
You can
already
start your
some
own spy
useless-
agency, and that's fine.
It's like declaring.
That's okay.
It's like declaring yourself to be your own country. You don't have any power, but
But you can do it.
yeah.
No one's stopping you.
There are specific actually parameters to founding your own country.
Unfortunately,
apparently.
Ethiopia is already taken, so I can't use that for myself.
You like the name Ethiopia?
Absolutely not. But it's very close to me.
I
My
prefer-
Oh,
first
because
name.
Ethan.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
No,
prefer-
because my name is
Well,
Jones.
I didn't know. Wait, what?
My name is actually Jones. That's my entire name.
Jones.
Just Jones.
Just Jones. No,
Is
not
that your
just
spy
Jones.
name?
Jones. No. It's my
Your
real name.
undercover name.
My spy name is Ethan. That's how good I am.
Well,
Not anymore, at least.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about any of that? Any
I mean, it's
any
like,
opinions
kind
on
of a-
unfortunately, it's like with any business.
is that
There's gonna
good or
be-
bad?
There's
do
going to
you
be
think?
people who are really good at it, and
I
they
don't
get hired.
see any issue with it as long as it's not they're not like invading our privacy. I don't know. If they're just like doing specific, if they're looking into very specific things like certain companies, and they're doing it for good reason, then yeah. But if they're just surveilling the general population,
Yeah, it's
that's-
unclear how much they're doing
Mm.
that's
around
different.
that.
I understand that
because
corporate
I feel
espionage
like,
is somewhat necessary sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like contractors like these are kind of a necessary thing, just like having like private detectives. Is
Or even
a-
like secret shoppers.
yeah,
Secret
Yeah.
shoppers.
Well, I mean, when you think about secret shoppers, like the reason that they exist is to make sure that a branch of a certain company is doing their job.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
send them to a store to make sure that the employees aren't
Well, but
Yeah.
see,
completely useless.
I don't think this is actually really like secret shoppers.
No, but
This is-
no, it's not.
the thing is,
it's
like,
similar.
even aside from the government stuff, it's literally like companies hiring spies against each other.
yeah,
That's what a
Which
secret
in
shopper
is
some-
really weird, but it's actually like a thing you have to do because it's turned into one of those things where if you don't do it, it doesn't matter because somebody's got a spy in your building somewhere. So it's
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
have to get one yourself.
like I completely see why it's a necessary thing.
So do
I
they
guess
send
it's
spies to
possible.
find
It's just
spies?
possible for it to go too far.
I thought the privatization thing was interesting because when I was setting out to look all this stuff up, my whole angle was like, how is it different than movies? And that was one thing I just didn't expect, that
Mm-hmm.
like you could have whole spy agencies, because our whole joke is like White Lightning HQ, freelance spies basically. But I didn't think
exists.
that would actually exist
Yeah,
in real
no.
life. That was supposed to be a joke.
Kyle, everything exists.
Everything.
But also, another thing that I thought was funny, just because I just thought it would be more secure or more boring, and it's not really either of those things, right? Because when you think about it, you would assume real life spy stuff, probably not like movies, because it wouldn't be quite as actiony,
I assume it's
and
a lot of
probably would be
paperwork.
more secretive. But intel agencies, it turns out, have career pages on their website, much like a Walmart.
That's hilarious.
You can go to
I
them.
want to do that.
4 years of service.
What kind of qualifications does it?
Oh, there's a whole thing. I actually went through the whole process without actually submitting the thing because I was curious about it. And they've got like a whole like assessment thing where you can go like, how much do you like to travel? What is your physical fitness level? And it suggests which branch of the
That's
intelligence
amazing.
community that you would best
like,
fit.
does it require a particular degree or?
It didn't. It was the assessment didn't specify. It was like you gave it your highest level of education. It was like you would probably be best suited for these areas, kind of like what you do in high school.
Mm.
And it was interesting too because the U.S. ones were government websites, and so like any U.S. government website, it looked like it was made in the 90s and hasn't been updated since. And it's very boring and very businessy. But MI5's website in England was like their marketing crew was on point. It was a very updated, nice-looking website, and they also were very open about the whole thing, more so than the CIA was like, help your government. And MI5 was like, okay, so look, you're not going to want to tell people that you're applying for this job. It's going to involve probably keeping some secrets, like, the application process will take a few months. Here's some contact details for how you get a hold of us.
Wonderful.
But
they're upfront about it.
It was just interesting because most of the spy movies you see are back in the Cold War era, and you're passing letters around, and now it's just like, yeah, go to our website. Here's our career page. Send us an email.
They have like a stock photo of like a spy.
They did have stock photos of like cities and stuff.
Oh, that's disappointing.
They had like
Every self-respecting website has to have a stock photo of someone laughing at salad and someone who is pregnant eating salad.
That's it. Yep.
That would be great if you just had spy stock photos on the CIA site.
Spies eating salad.
Can we register this domain name right
Spieseatingsalad.com.
now? Spieseatingsalad.com.
I might do that.
No, they're my words. I already have a trademark on them.
That was the other thing too. The CIA also had employee reviews on Indeed.com.
Oh my gosh. That's
And so I
great.
got a couple of them right here. There was one of the positive ones was 5 out of 5. It said, for a college student, the experience was invaluable, pay was great, and the amount of opportunity was amazing. So apparently, if you want to join the CIA as an internship, that's an available option.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Wonder if they accept art students.
And then there was a 3 out of 5 that said, the management style is severely lacking and causes a lot of problems. Which,
Pretty
as
funny.
mentioned previously, is kind of the opposite of what I expected it to be.
That's pretty funny.
Uh,
So wait, you can be an intern at the CIA and get great pay, invaluable experience, and amazing opportunities?
apparently.
What am I doing here?
No, you've already signed your contract. You work for this agency. You cannot go join another one.
Okay. I'm still registering spieseatingsalad.com. Hopefully I can ride the coattails of that into the sunset.
And then I also found this whole article of he was the director. His name was Dr. Vince Houghton. I didn't research his name because we don't do that here at White Lightning HQ. We just make random guesses.
You don't research names.
He was the curator at the International Spy Museum, and he gave an interview. I don't actually remember the website, so I apologize for that, but it doesn't matter because I'm just paraphrasing.
I
But he went
totally
over.
went to that International
Oh, did you?
Spy Museum.
It's the one in D.C., right?
Yes.
Because I didn't. I've been to D.C. and I didn't go to the Spy Museum.
It was a really cool place. I just wish I remembered it better.
Yeah, right at this exact moment, you're like, crap.
I
should've
went
paid more
in
attention.
2007.
See, they drug you on the way out so you don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, they used to do the Men in Black thing.
Mm.
But he went over all of these different ways that spies in real life are similar and different to spies in movies.
Mm.
And again, I assumed it would be more different than it was.
Uh-huh.
The main thing was it's like spy movies but more boring, which is kind of what I guessed.
Well, yeah.
And that you wouldn't end up being, a
think
James Bond kind of person unless your cover was like a billionaire playboy somewhere in another country.
I think people would notice if there was a bunch of short people with razor sharp hats cutting like wires and driving cars off of bridges into the water.
See, I haven't actually gotten to the Bond movies yet. I've been watching a lot of
Forgot
spy
about
stuff in
that
preparation
guy.
for
So
this.
here's two of the greatest Bond villains. One of them has a jaw that can cut through
I
steel
know
cables.
about Jaws.
One of them has a hat that can cut through steel cables.
What's that guy's name
Oddjob?
again?
There's
Oddjob.
Oddjob
yes,
and, like,
Oddjob.
The
like
cheap
Steel
character in GoldenEye. That's
Yeah,
all I know.
yeah,
about
yeah.
See, I've never seen any of the movies, but I played 007 Nightfire on GameCube all the time, and I was always Oddjob.
Screw you.
Everyone,
Did they
everyone,
fix it for that game, or was it?
I have
Do
no
you know the
idea.
whole Oddjob thing from the first 007
No, I
game?
don't.
In the N64, everybody hated you if you played as Oddjob because he was shorter than everyone
Yeah.
else,
And
so
you
he was
couldn't
harder to
aim
get
down.
headshots
Yeah,
on.
exactly. No, it's the same in Nightfire.
It is the same thing,
It's
but
like,
it-
yeah.
in-
and you can
well-
kill them with your hat. It's
I would
great.
assume it'd be easier to aim in a GameCube game, but on the N64, you had to like hold a button and push, and you couldn't move while you were aiming down
Yeah.
because like there was only one joystick, right?
And so, well, that's the whole thing. Like what you were saying, with the noticeable quirks and stuff. The point of
Yeah,
spies is
I think
to
there'd be a lot of
blend
like
in.
sunken cars on the London Bridge.
You
like,
wanna go unnoticed is the point, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be like Ezio in Assassin's Creed, where you're the only person in the world who wears that coat, but somehow blend in with everybody. So
Hey,
most of the
I think-
time, your cover is something slightly less glamorous, and so you're dressed that way and have that income.
like an IT guy or something.
Yeah, and if you're driving a really fast car away from something, something has gone terribly wrong. It's not something you do on a regular basis.
Unless you're a race car driver and you're trying out for something.
But the thing I did find interesting was the one area where real life surpasses the movies is actually in technology,
I would imagine.
because
Yeah.
it happens fairly frequently that somebody in the agency will have like seen the latest Bond movie or something, and they'll go into their engineers and they'll be like, so I just got out of this movie. I had like this facial recognition software. Do you think we could build that? Like, can we just like make that? And they're like, dude, we've had that for 10 years. Nobody knows. You're not allowed to tell anybody.
That's pretty great.
Because they don't want anybody to know how they're figuring this stuff out. So by the time we get it, it's only because they've probably come up with something new
Yeah, way
that we
better.
won't find out for
Yeah.
another decade.
Something I want to know if it's real or not is I forget what movie I saw it in, but it's like that glass that they can turn dark when they need to hold like a private meeting.
That does exist, actually. There is electric glass that they've already been working on. It exists, probably, is the main thing. But yeah, if you apply a current to it, it will actually shade it or fog it up.
So is it like
depending on
is
what-
it like the Batman cape but for glass? Like if
Yeah,
you apply
basically.
electricity to the Batman cape, it becomes firm and you
Yeah.
don't collide with it.
That's so cool.
I hope that exists.
Yeah, I don't actually...
The Batman cape.
Yeah, the Batman cape. That's all that I want.
Just the Insta-glider.
What about like, okay, I mean, there has to be like a pen gun or something stupid, like
Probably.
that shoots a dart.
I would assume so. Any kind of building a weapon into something probably
There
exists.
was like the shoe gun.
I
Like,
did
it
just
was in a
see King-
museum.
I think with the pen, it's probably just like a dart or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a sleep dart.
I just saw Kingsman yesterday, which I was talking to them about, and their weapons were pretty cool. And I don't
With
know how
the
accurate they
impenetrable
would be.
umbrella.
Yeah, I don't know about the umbrella. The biggest one was that they had a ring that could like deliver an electrical charge to people,
That's awesome. Ring
which
taser.
I'm pretty sure could not exist.
That would probably kill you too.
Because the one thing nobody's figured out is how to make batteries smaller than they currently are. And so there's like, it was a signet ring. It was like the tiniest little ring possible, the kind that you use to like melt, or not melt, but put your insignia into wax stamps, like in old tiny
Oh,
letters.
wow.
And you couldn't put a charge on that. Like the source has to be coming from something. It wouldn't make any
There's
sense.
like a wire running down his hand.
But yeah, so all of the tech apparently in real life is better than it is in the movies. But they don't shoot each other quite as much. They don't kill each other, because apparently, if you are say a Russian government official and you kill an American government official, that kind of starts a thing,
Yeah.
and you don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to do that.
I imagine that would start a war.
So normally, if you get captured as an American spy, they hold you for a couple hours, and they're like, "Are you a spy?" And you're like, "Nah." And then they just have to let you go because there's nothing they can do. They just extradite you from the country, and that's
What
it.
if, okay, we found these files on your laptop that say spy stuff. Oh no, that was for a school project back in high school. It's an older laptop, and they're like, okay.
That's literally what happens. Apparently, they just hold their cover, and then they just send them back home. So,
All right.
So if you want to be a spy, go check out the CIA's website or MI5
We're
or whatever
not sponsored by the
agency
CIA.
exists in your country. You can probably just get a
technically,
job there.
Are we one of those contractors we're talking about?
Well, no one has paid us yet, so not really.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, don't tell them that.
If you would like to hire White Lightning HQ to do internet research for you.
We've been paid at least 2 churros to do this.
By
Two
who? I didn't
churros?
get any churros. Who gave you churros? From Chaotic Arrow on Door Monster 2, it's cool that some of the kids remembered from last year, and even subbed apparently. Water was such a nice touch this time around too, or some combination of those words.
Water seemed to
I said
provoke
you this time around.
more than it deterred.
No,
so-
I agreed. The water was a good idea.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, it provoked them. I cut out a lot of zombie mobbing that we had.
Just like trying to
There was-
destroy the eyeball.
There was one little girl dressed as a zombie that would not leave. I had to go outside and make her go away because
yeah.
she was just sitting there,
What,
just
what did
hitting
you
the
tell
eye.
her?
I just went out and was like, all right, guys, let's let the other kids have a chance here. Let's back up. It was fun to do. There was I have a picture that I took of everybody behind the door on the other side that I'll put up here. But I don't know how me and Ethan did it the first
I think because
year.
despite us having more people the first year, they didn't come in such big blobs. We only had like 2 or 3
Yeah,
at
maybe.
a time. Like
People
this year
definitely
we had like
knew.
5 at a time this year.
Yeah, like I don't know how many people we had who were new to it. I think most people expected it this time around, but it was fun to do again.
If you haven't seen Door Monster 2, click my face.
What if I don't want to do that? What if I just don't do it one time? Then everyone's gonna be disappointed.
I'm perfectly fine
We'll
with
put it
everyone
on my
clicking on my
face
face.
instead.
Door Monster 2 did not do as well because Reddit is
Weird.
really annoying.
If you want to see Door Monster 1, click on JP's face.
I'm not doing that.
For final community comments, Burnt L says, "Wow, I'd forgotten about some of those videos you did earlier in the year. Those were pretty funny, smiley. I must give a hearty congratulations to you all for actually making a year of weekly videos. I couldn't believe it when you announced it, and I still can't believe it now. I can't wait to see what else you have in store, but for now I think you all deserve a rest."
Thank you, Burnt
That made me
Out.
feel really warm and fuzzy.
We're feeling a little burnt out.
Are you?
No,
No,
no.
absolutely.
I just
I
had
actually
to,
feel
just
great
had
because
to-
I did take a rest for the first time in a very long time.
I was making a terrible pun with the fact that her name had burnt in
It's
it.
his. It's Burnt
Him.
L, JP.
Burnt him.
It's Burnt L.
I know.
He's been here for such a long time.
Who is it though?
Do you seriously
He's
not
the-
know who
he's the-
Burnt L
he's
is?
the guy-
I don't know who Burnt L
Him and
is.
his friend Cold F and Tepid
I'm sorry,
H.
Burnt L. Burnt L knows who you are, JP.
This is from the final community comments by Charles Dewitt. Looking forward to some more Civ 5 videos. Say, when you guys come back, you
Period.
You think you'll do some Fallout videos?
Fallout videos, probably not because I've never played a Fallout game.
You should play 4.
And 4 does look pretty cool. So, well, okay, let me rephrase that. If we do a Fallout 4 video, it will be well after Fallout 4 has lost any relevance,
Absolutely.
as per our usual.
No, this is the
Method.
status quo for us. We're returning slowly to the norm of us making things way past the hype train. Like our Minecraft video. No one cared about Minecraft when
We need to
released
stop
it.
doing that though, because that gets us fewer views.
But it makes us like
Civ 5 videos, yes. In fact, when is this coming out? Our next video will be a Civ 5 video, so that'll be cool. Civ 5 is still a gold mine of
there's
views.
gold in
It
there.
turns out, because we're still getting views and comments on our other 2 Civ 5 videos
I don't
every single
understand
day,
that. Why is
Really?
that?
all the time. Our latest one that didn't do very well, it only got like, I think it got 5,000 views in our first week. It has now gotten up to 30,000 views on its own without doing anything.
Was that the one where
Yeah.
I was the Pharaoh?
Yeah, from Awesome Jelly Girl on Final Community Comments. I've discovered this channel recently, but I absolutely love the content. You may have seen me in previous comments and on Twitter just generally trying to say how much I love your videos. I feel really bad that you don't have more subscribers, and as a result I try to share it with anyone who would listen. If you enjoy creating these videos, don't bother with what anyone else thinks. Most of us are here for a reason. Thank you, Awesome Jelly Girl. You are awesome.
It's a
What do
great
people
comment.
think? What do people think, Kyle?
I don't actually know.
Yeah, that is a little ominous. Like, don't worry about what everyone's saying about you.
What are they saying? Like we scroll down, like there's like a second page, and you just rip it open. Oh God, all the negative comments are there.
We're enjoying doing these, and now that I get to spend more time on each video, I'm enjoying doing them even
It's
more.
definitely been an experience.
We
I'm
will
kinda-
not be Stop. Look, we have a set. We've never had a set before. This is cool.
It's
This
almost
is
like I
a-
could reach out and touch that Pokeball, but I won't because I don't want to reach out and touch that Pokeball.
This is a totally real room behind us. Don't reach he can't touch the Pokeball because it's too far back and he can't reach his arm
it's
all
kinda
the
far
way.
back. I have really short, like,
JP, stop, you're ruining the illusion.
I have really short see my short, stumpy T-Rex arms?
Thank you for joining us for the first episode of Counterintelligence. Next episode will be in 2 weeks and will be our Christmas episode. And that's about all we know about it.
Leave a comment on how you want the Christmas episode to differ from the rest. Do you
Leave
want
your
us-
comments on
Everything.
topics that you would like us to discuss. We will come up with a sign-off in the future so that we don't end these episodes so awkwardly
I think our
like we
sign-off
usually
should
do.
be putting all of our sunglasses on and then making hand farts.
Everyone have a great couple of weeks. This video will now self-destruct.